You're watching Explore Tulsa.
Vintage, even now, Philip and I are considered vintage. Anything, even in the 90s, is now vintage, but we definitely love anything from even the early 1900s to now. So June was my great-grandmother. When we'd go visit her, she'd always send me home with stuff. Like I had her black and white box television with a handle. That was my first TV in my bedroom, and I couldn't be more excited. And so I just would gather things from her. And then Philip's great-grandma, Josephine, she goes by Jo too, so that's where Jo and June came from.
I love it. So a lot of times just like out and about, like people just assume our names are Jo and June and we totally answer to it as well. So it's kind of nice just honoring her in that, like appreciating the life that she provided for my grandma and my dad and things like that.
We started in 2013 just doing vintage markets and selling on Instagram and Facebook, and then we opened a brick and mortar in 2015.
I think it's something that I've definitely kind of grown into. I have been exposed to entrepreneurship. My grandma Josephine, who we partially named the shop after, she's full-blood Lebanese. Her and her husband owned like several stores. They had a grocery store, they had a liquor store. She's owned several clothing stores in like the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. Her last business was a Western wear store. So when we were growing up, we'd go to grandma and she'd dress us up like little cowboys.
For me, I've always kind of decorated, even like growing up, I would decorate my room with hand-me-downs from my great-grandmothers. I just always liked the style and the look of vintage. So I would say like that my great-grandmas and even my papa was my grandpa, they just always had a love for quality vintage goods, and to them they weren't vintage, but.
For me, I'm very scatterbrained and not very organized. So she definitely helps draw me back from like I'll be at the shop running things and I'll just be like putting things together and doing little thises and that's, and she's like, stick to the list. She's like, you need to get stuff ready to ship, you need to put things on the list, in a nice way, but she helps keep me focused. And then she's also very good at like the bookkeeping and the business part of owning a business, because that's 70% of it.
It's so much fun. We do like estate sales, auctions, flea markets, garage sales, and then anytime we travel, even to Oklahoma City, we'll bring a carload back. Whenever we have gone to like Colorado or California, we'll usually come back with our luggage full and usually shipping boxes home. So anywhere and everywhere, we just are always on the hunt. We never are officially like off the clock.
For me, it would be awesome. Like the business isn't quite there yet to support both of us, so definitely it would be nice to be able to move out of working full-time even to like part-time, or just pick up a few hours here and there and take on the business full-time, because Danielle has other ideas for things that she wants to do for the business and stuff like that. We
definitely have some other small business ideas that we would love to eventually bring to Tulsa.
I don't know, it would be super awesome to open other locations or stuff like that. We have friends that are moving to New York, and she was like, hey, maybe we can open a second Jo and June like just in like jest or whatever, but I was like, hey, maybe we can make that work.
We're definitely carrying big loads right now, and so we're just riding the wave and see what happens. But Jo and June is here, and we love it here, and Kendall Whittier is home, so it's good.